and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, and my guest this evening is Steve Kare from the Paul Dostie Foundation. Steve!
Pete, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing very well. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thanks for coming down. Long time no see.
Yeah, I know. I feel
it's
probably my fault.
That's okay. That's okay. So, Steve, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been involved with the foundation.
Well, you've got a couple hours, I can tell you.
I do.
No, I'm just, my name is Steve Terreri, and I'm a family member of Paul Dostie. He's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
And I knew him for decades.
Right.
Since I've been married for 43 years and known Paul ever since I first started dating my wife.
Okay.
And he started dating my wife's sister. So we go back a long, long way.
Okay.
A lot of family functions, very close family. So we have a lot in common that way.
Okay. What type of guy what was Paul like? What type of guy was he like?
If you looked at him, he could have been a GQ model. He should have been a tight end for the New England Patriots.
Okay.
He ended up being an auto mechanic, a transmission specialist. If you talk to the garages around the shoreline, they'd say he was a master mechanic when it came to transmissions.
Okay.
And he was a very caring, kind, fair guy.
Yeah.
And I started working with him in his business about 10 years ago to help him with the business side of things.
Okay.
And I used to tell him all the time, you got to stop giving this away for nothing.
Yeah, right.
Because you got to earn a living. So he was. That's why when he passed and we started thinking about him and how we were going to keep his memory alive, we thought about the word kindness, and that's where this care came from. Kindness always rewards everyone. It was something that kind of reminded us of Paul.
Okay.
He's a really nice, really kind guy.
Now tell us about the foundation.
The foundation, we've been in existence for just about 3 years.
Okay.
Paul passed away May 25th, 2021, so we're coming up on 3 years. And like I said a second ago, we were trying to think of something to kind of keep his memory alive, because before he passed away, we did a fundraiser at Thimble Island Brewery, and it was jam-packed with people, including Senator Blumenthal. And then when he passed, there was well over 1,000, we think maybe 1,200 people came to his wake.
Wow.
So we said, how do we keep this alive? So we came up with the idea of a foundation with myself and his older sister Linda, his wife Jeannie, and his brother Paul. 4 of us formed the board. And what we wanted to do is raise money and make financial contributions to families that are struggling because of their disease. They're financially struggling because of their disease. And we started out by giving smaller grants, and then we decided that we wanted to make a difference in their life. Okay. And so we came up with the idea of giving a $5,000 grant every month. We give at least one $5,000 grant every month to a family that's really in need. Wow. Yeah. And we focus on brain tumor because of Paul. Right. And we also focus on another disease called HCM, which is a disease one of his twin daughters has. And we've helped a lot of GBM and HCM families since inception.
What is HCM?
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a congenital heart defect. And his daughter Allie's had, I want to say 8 open heart surgeries since she was a baby. Oh, wow. And she's right now being evaluated for a heart transplant. So some of the folks that we've supported through our foundation ultimately got heart transplants. One woman that's about Allie's age is actually coming to CareFest this year. Really? Yeah. Now,
is there a donor list that people can go on to help Allie?
We haven't really done that.
Okay.
She's in good shape. She's got.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's got good insurance and all that.
Oh, okay. So we don't need to go that route.
No, we don't need to. She'd rather you give money to the Care Foundation that we can spend in the way I described.
Right. Speaking of the Kare Foundation, I understand you guys have an event coming up.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Well, actually, I'll give you this
Yeah.
little T-shirt that
Oh,
we
thank you.
have available for our Kare Foundation Kare Fest.
All right.
But
Thank you.
our primary funding event is called Kare Fest,
Okay.
and it happens every year in June. This will be our third annual
Let's see.
event.
Hold that up for the camera.
There you go.
See if we can get a
Little picture of that.
tight shot of that. Let's see.
That I've already talked about the acronym.
Yep.
The little heart with the smile on it was the way Paul would leave notes to his girls, and he'd make that heart. So
Really?
yeah, that's his thing that we're trying to trademark, by the way.
Cool. Nice.
There you go. So anyway, Kare Fest is June 15th.
All right.
This is our third annual event. This year we'll have 5 bands, Thimble Island Beer, Margarita Tent, Silent Auction, and and most of the bands are playing for free.
Oh, really?
And it's several local bands, and then our headliner is a Bruce Springsteen tribute band.
I saw that on your website.
Yeah, Alex Shilo and his tribute to Bruce Springsteen. He's excellent.
Is he? I was
Yeah.
going to say they're pretty good.
Really good. Yeah. So we're promoting it pretty heavy right now.
Now, as far as the event goes in June, when, where, and what time?
It's June 15th. Gates open at 3.
Okay.
We'll be playing till 10 o'clock at the Guilford Fairgrounds in Guilford, Connecticut.
Okay. And is there an admission fee to get in?
Yes, $25 for the tickets to get in.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable for what you're going to get. It's going to be a really good time.
Now, how did you guys come up with the idea of the event?
I think the idea initially was, when Paul was sick, he'd always say to us, "Don't worry, Steve, I got this. I'm going to get over this." Had a big smile on his face up until the day he passed, and he kept saying to us, "When this is all done, we're going to have a big party." So initially, I think we kind of said, "You know what? Let's throw a party for Paul." And that's where I think the Kare Fest came from. So now every year we throw a big party, and
Yeah.
we get all kinds of folks helping us, and we always look up to the sky and say, "Paul, your only job is to give us a nice sunny day, so we have a rainy day."
Exactly. We don't want to do this in the rain.
No,
No.
but we will do it if it rains. It's rain or shine.
Exactly. But it's probably going to be a lot more fun in the sun.
It would be
rather than the rain.
It would be a lot more fun in the sun.
Now, what other events or fundraisers do you guys do, or is this the biggie for the year?
Well, we've done some direct mail funding solicitation. We're doing some work on social media, but we also have a golf tournament that's coming up in, I believe it's in August 23rd at the Portland Golf Course in Portland, Connecticut. So we did that last year, and that was successful. And we raised some funds that way, and we do May is Brain Cancer Awareness Month, and we'll be doing an email campaign and a social media campaign to kind of put the focus on potentially supporting our foundation and making donations for the month of May. And Paul's, as I mentioned, Paul passed away in May as well, so we're going to get something cooking on social media.
Now, where can people find you on social media?
We can. I think they have the links.
Do we have the link?
I think
We
they
do.
have- I think they have them. They can.
Yeah,
pull
we've
them.
got the Facebook link and the Instagram link, I believe.
Yeah.
on
And
the-
then our website is pdkare, .org. That's our
Okay.
website. You can get to everything through our website.
And what types of information can people find on the website?
You can see our mission. You hear a little bit more about Paul, his story. You can see the current recipients of our funding and past recipients of our funding. Paul's sister, Linda, does a wonderful job kind of doing a write-up for each one of the families. Their pictures are there. There's a tab on our events, so you'll get to look at anything you want to know about CareFest, and the golf tournament is on there. And then we have a section with pictures from past events. And there's some press information too. I think my last interview with you is on there.
I believe it. I actually believe it is, because I looked at the website the other day, and I'm like, hey, there we are again.
There you go. I watched it the other night to get ready. I was
did you?
see if you were going to throw me any curveballs.
No. I don't throw curveballs or meatballs. We're good.
I'm just kidding.
We're good.
I'm just kidding.
Now, as far as the mission of the organization, what is the mission?
Well, I paraphrase it. Our mission is to help take the financial pressure off of families that are suffering financially due to their disease. And we also, and I mentioned the 2 diseases we kind of focus on, but we have veered off that mission a couple of times when there was something had happened in like Guilford. There was a family whose father suffered a fracture of the neck, and he was a quadriplegic, so we donated some funds to help him. So we've gone off the mission, but that's kind of what we're out there to help folks get through some financial difficulties as a result of their disease. The other thing we do is, Paul was notorious for finding this backyard mechanic, kid that was fixing lawnmowers and their father's car, and souping up a go-kart. He would pull that kid into the automotive tech world.
Right.
And so what we do once a year, we try to find a kid that would satisfy that Paul Dostie backyard mechanic criteria, and we give them a grant either to go to a VOTEC school,
right,
or if they didn't want to do that, they needed money to buy a toolbox and some tools.
Right.
We've helped several folks since inception. I think this year we're going to give out 2 scholarships.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to backyard mechanics.
And if people want information on the backyard mechanic program, they obviously can go on the website.
It's all there. Yeah.
It's all there?
Yeah, it's all there.
Now, what are some of the criterias for the backyard mechanic scholarship?
That's a great question. I think they're a rare breed.
Okay.
So sometimes it's hard to find them. And
right.
So what we have done is contacted some of the schools that have a VOTEC kind of bent, and asked them to let us know if you know anyone that fits that criteria. I think and it's sometimes it's crazy, like word of mouth kind of things.
Right.
The 2 that we have now were a word of mouth kind of thing, that somebody in the neighborhood said, "Hey, this kid's a mechanic and he does work in the driveway." Right. And we kind of connected with him, and then we said, okay, he fits the mold. He wants to be a mechanic. I think that's the criteria. If we can interview the person and we kind of feel like they definitely want to become a mechanic, this is what they've chosen to do, then we might give them a grant.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back.
Connecticut has lost $35 million in gross earnings taxes because cable TV providers are losing customers.
Yet cable companies continue to enjoy a tax exemption on their equipment that their telecom competitors don't get.
At the same time, the telecoms don't pay gross earnings tax.
This doesn't make sense.
It's time to level the playing field.
Make everyone pay their fair share.
Please support sustainable funding for digital equity,
community access,
and the CTN network.
Come on in, come on in.
Welcome to Sure Things.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show.
Hello and welcome to Arts and Entertainment.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Steve Terreri from the Paul Dostie Care Foundation. Sir, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You got it, thank you. So Steve, we were talking a little bit during the break about the different types of cancers and diseases that the foundation helps. Maybe we can open up this segment talking a little bit in more detail about those.
Yeah, I think that I think when we started out, I think because Paul passed from glioblastoma, we focused our efforts on glioblastoma,
Okay.
GBM, and it's a deadly disease. I think I'm not a physician, so I
That's
think
okay.
the median survival is like 14. I think it's like 14 months from diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
And Paul lived 19 months,
Okay.
so he lived a little longer than normal. And you try everything you can think of to try to help them. Right? We took him to the Dana-Farber, we took him to Memorial Sloan Kettering, and then we took him down to Duke and saw Dr. Friedman,
Okay.
who's a world-renowned brain tumor specialist. And we got him in a clinical trial.
Right.
So he was in a clinical trial for a while, then fell out of the trial, and then kind of went downhill pretty quickly.
Oh, boy.
And that happens, to a lot of the folks. And I think the thing I like to talk about is that when people ask me what we do, I don't often say we support the patient. I try to say we support the family.
Right.
Because the patient, and unfortunately with GBM, doesn't usually survive, but the family does.
Right.
And sometimes the families made tremendous sacrifices to try to get care for their loved one. They might have not been able to go to work, and not be able to make a mortgage payment or other financial commitments that they have. So we kind of think about the family as well as the patient. So that's GBM, and that's really, in terms of cancers, I think the only other one that we supported was a patient with colorectal cancer that had a GBM connection. One of the bands that played in CareFest last year, one of the guitarists lost his wife to GBM, and then right after CareFest, he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer and couldn't work for months, and so we made a grant to him to help him get through his situation. And then I guess another story I can tell is we made a connection with the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute,
Sure.
and we've supported a couple patients that came to us through the Dana-Farber. And in my day job, I work in the bone marrow transplant world, and one of the bone marrow transplanters contacted me and said, "Hey, I've got this family. The mother's got ovarian cancer, and three of her daughters are sick with a neurological cancer, and one passed after a bone marrow transplant, and the two others are just hanging on, and they had really no money, and they're about to be homeless."
Oh, no.
So that was a grant that was an easy board decision to make.
Yeah, exactly.
So we supported that family and got them off the street. I'm trying to think of some other story. I could tell you some other stories.
Sure, go for it.
I think I mentioned to you that, in addition to GBM, we focus on HCM, and we supported a young lady who needed a heart transplant, was in financial distress, and she received her transplant, and she's roughly the same age as one of Paul's daughters. And then we had the same situation with a young child recently that just actually, as of I think this past week, just came home after their heart transplant. So we've had a couple heart transplant patients that we've helped that were in financial distress.
Wow. You guys seem like a very busy and worthwhile organization.
It is. It eases the pain of losing a loved one, and we're definitely giving something back. That personally, it's been amazing to me to watch, the difficulties folks have, but also on the other side of the coin, raising funds for foundation. I'm very involved with the corporate sponsorships and
Okay.
so on and so forth. And the generosity of people is amazing. I mean, it's mind-boggling how generous people are. So we've got a lot of sponsorship.
Now, how are you guys funded? Are you guys funded by donation or obviously by corporate sponsor?
We sell corporate sponsorships for CareFest.
Okay.
And so that's a big chunk of it.
Okay.
And then we've got the gate, the
gate fees
and so on. That's and then we've applied for several grants through the Guilford Foundation, and we did receive an ARPA grant this past year for working on our how we were affected by the COVID situation.
And now, how were you guys affected by the COVID situation?
Well, it really delayed our ability to really get up and running by about a year.
Really?
Yeah, because we were going to do CareFest in 2020.
Okay.
And we couldn't because of the pandemic.
Right.
So we applied for an ARPA loan or ARPA grant, and they gave us the grant.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. And all the ARPA funds went to obviously fund the foundation for what you guys do.
Yeah, we asked for the funding to help us, even when it came to getting better with social media and direct mail and that kind of thing. So we used the funds for that.
Right.
To improve the strength of our foundation.
Now, as far as the foundation goes, if people want to donate, they can obviously go donate online, or
you can go to the website pdcare.org, and there's a mechanism there for you to make a donation.
Okay. And obviously, no donation is too small.
We'll take any donation, and they all add up. And like I said, we're amazed at how generous folks are.
And all of the donations are obviously kept locally to you guys in Guilford, with the foundation.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
All of the money is kept local.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess in a way.
Okay.
I mean, we've made grants to folks all over the country. Not just. Most of them, I say, we're in the Connecticut area.
Okay.
But we've made one recently in Pittsburgh. We've made them down in some of the southern states. When we get I guess noticed online, and
right.
A lot of word of mouth, and we've gotten requests from all over the country. Boston, I mentioned, we did a couple up in the Boston market as well.
Yeah. Now, let's circle back and talk about CareFest again.
Mm-hmm.
When, where, what time, ticket prices?
June 15th
Okay.
at the Guilford Fairgrounds.
All right.
Gates open at 3, bands start playing at 4. We'll have bands playing till 10.
Okay.
We'll have food trucks there. We'll have silent auction there. We'll have Thimble Island Brewery beer.
Oh, sure.
And then we'll have Cancion tequila margaritas there. Cornhole, really good time. It's a family event.
Yeah.
Kids will be dancing, and it's a lot of fun.
Now, do we have confirmed bands?
We do.
Okay.
So we have a band called B-Sides, which is more of a pop band.
Okay.
Pop and classic rock.
All right.
We have a band called The Ticket, which is Pepe Capizone and company.
Okay.
They're more like Eagles kind of rock.
Gotcha.
Very good band. We got a band called Shot Down, which is country and rock. And we have a band called used to be called the Crushed Stones. Now they're called the Unavailables.
Okay.
And they just went into the studio and recorded an album, and they're going to release their album at CareFest.
Oh, cool.
And then the headliner is Alex Shilo and the tribute to Bruce Springsteen, which should be really good.
Have you seen them play?
I've heard them play. I
Okay.
haven't seen them play. They played at the Cape not too long ago, a couple weeks ago.
Good thing.
Yeah.
I actually think might have seen that in the
Yeah, I
paper.
missed it. I thought they were playing later in the month, and it was on April 20th. But
Oh, okay.
I got video clips from his manager. They played great. They
Yeah.
sounded really good.
They seem pretty good.
Yeah, he sounds just like him. It's great. It's amazing.
And I believe recently, Springsteen was here in Connecticut. He did a show up at the casino.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it was a couple of weeks ago. I actually saw it. I saw it on the news that he was there. And
Yeah, we're not ready for that yet, but
no.
someday maybe. I'll put that on my someday maybe list.
On the someday maybe bucket list.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get Bonnie Raitt because she's playing at Bridgeport on the 14th and in Boston that evening of the 15th. I said, well, you just drive by exit 58, get off.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you're driving by, so you might as well
Play a song and get back on 95. And,
swing by, say hi, and
yeah, they were nice enough to call me and talk to me live and said, no, we can't do that.
we
And
can't do that.
Talked to John Mellencamp's manager, and he said, no, we can't do that.
Really?
So we'll get there someday.
Yeah.
It's a sizable expense for a small startup foundation
Yeah, it's probably not cheap.
to do that. So we'll get there someday.
Cool. Steve Torini from the Paul Dostie Foundation. We're out of time. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Steve, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks. Good night, and we'll see you next time.